Well, they just keep coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. We get more spoilers for Commander Legends. This set is insane. Can't wait to see everything when it's all done. Can't wait to open this set. I'm so glad that I pre-ordered a couple boxes before we seen all the cards. I thought it was good enough like a week ago, and we've already seen even better cards. So we get Glacian Power Stone. I'm wrapping up yesterday, by the way. He's a blue human artificer, a 3/6 legendary partner commander. You can tap him to tap X untapped artifacts you control to look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So, pretty cool artifact partner commander. We have Annoyed Altasaur, 7 mana green common dinosaur, 6/5 reach, trample, and cascade. Get a reprint of Bruised Tarl, Boorish Herder, and Teamer Battle Rage, which is always a nice card. We get Hellkite Courser. 6 mana red mythic, Flying Dragon, a 6/5. When Hellkite Courser enters the battlefield, you may put a commander you own from the command zone onto the battlefield. It gains haste, return it to the command zone at the beginning of the next end step. This is very unique. We haven't seen anything like this that can cheat a commander straight into play. And I think it's going to be a hit. I mean, we said that about a lot of cards in the set, but yes, I do believe this is going to be a pretty powerful card in a lot of red decks that just need that advantage over other colors. Then we get Dawnglade Regent, 7 mana elk, an 8/8. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch, and as long as you're the monarch, permanents you control have hexproof. That's insane. But we need a monarch commander in more than just Mardu, like a monarch commander that can interact with the monarchy. That would be really sweet if we got that. We get a counterspell, an Arcane Denial reprint. So pretty much we're just getting the staples. I've seen some of the other spoilers today, and it looks like we're going to get pretty much the best cards in each color. And then we get in a Shy reprint. This was a partner commander from 2016. We have Ingenuity Engine, 7 mana Cascade artifact, 1 mana and tap to sack an artifact, return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. So you could return it to your hand so you could replay it and cascade again. I think that's pretty nice. Also just good to have this in any kind of deck that's about ETBs or just replaying artifacts for value. We get a Chroma's Will, 4 mana white instant. If you control a commander, you get to choose both of these modes. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. That's already pretty sweet. And the second mode is creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors until end of turn. So you get a very versatile spell here. It could be either a defensive one or a more combat-focused one. I think this is fantastic in white. And of course, we get a new Chroma. So she is a Chroma Vision of Ixidor, 7 mana, White Angel, a 6/6, flying, first strike, vigilance, and trample. She's also a partner commander. At the beginning of each combat, until end of turn, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 if it has flying, +1/+1 if it has first strike, and so on for double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, protection, reach, trample, vigilance, and partner. So it's counting partner too. This is very cool for one of those newer commander options from Commander 2020, but it's the Nightmare Insect. You know, those decks where they care about the keywords. Also, there's an Odric, so you have a lot of options. You could take advantage of keywords. So if you can give those keywords to your other creatures, they're going to be getting a lot of power and toughness. Then we get a Braid. Then we get Humble Defector. Those reprints. We get Kraum, Ludwig's Opus. That's also another reprint. We get Elvish Doomsayer. When it dies, each opponent discards a card. Pride of the Perfect. Elves you control get +2/+0. So we're getting more Black Elf support, which is very odd. Did not expect that going into a commander set. We get Feast of Succession, some more awesome Seb McKinnon artwork. 6 mana, all creatures get -4/-4 until end of turn, and you become the Monarch. So a Monarch board wipe, pretty much. We get Miara, Thorn of the Glade. 2 mana Elf Scout partner, a 1/2. Whenever she or another elf you control dies, you get to pay 1 and 1 life. If you do, you draw a card. So that's very good in elf decks where you might have a ton of mana, you might have that kind of resource to your advantage, but you don't have the card draw. We have Muldrotha the Gravetide, very much needed reprint. And we get this cool little bunny rabbit here. And then we get Kwain, Curious, Itinerant. White-blue, 2 mana creature, legendary rabbit wizard. You can tap, each player may draw a card. Then each player who drew a card this way gains a life. So very friendly, very group huggy. Definitely a nice addition to a lot of those decks. Then we get Soul of Eternity, a 7-mana white avatar creature. Soul of Eternity's power and toughness are each equal to your life total, and an encore cost of 9. So it's pretty much like another Sarah avatar, another 7-mana creature where its power and toughness are each equal to your life total. The encore cost makes it even deadlier because you could just activate that ability and then you have one coming at each opponent. And then we have Body of Knowledge, a 5-mana creature avatar. Body of Knowledge's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever Body of Knowledge is dealt damage, draw that many cards. So it could get even bigger and the damage won't be enough. You're going to keep drawing cards, it's going to get bigger. That's really sweet. I like this card. I think it's fantastic if you want to make a good stuff blue deck, or if you have a way to easily deal damage with a lot of ping cards. Could be a nice addition to many decks. Then we get Swords to Plowshares, this reprint with the awesome artwork, but it's nice to finally get it. I think it looks amazing. Belborca, Spectral Sergeant, 4-mana Boros Spirit Soldier. Note the converted mana cost of each card as it's put into exile. Now that's a very interesting word. Note. I don't think we've seen that on a Magic card before. Belborca's power is equal to the greatest number noted for this turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You get to play that card this turn. So Bell helps speed up your deck by exiling and letting you play those. Then you get your normal draw step, which is nice in Boros. Then we get this reprint from Ixalan, I believe. Get some more reprints from Ixalan. And then we get Captain Vargas Ira. Legendary Orc Pirate. Whenever Captain Vargas Ira attacks, pirates you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone in this game. Kind of a downside that he's not a partner commander because that would make this even more powerful, but at least pirates are getting the support that they need. And then we get a reprint of Palace Sentinels from Conspiracy 2, Ambush Viper, Flash and Death Touch, Court of Ire, 5-mana red enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. So I believe this is the last Court enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, Court of Ire deals 2 damage to any target. If you're the Monarch, it deals 7 damage to that player or permanent instead. So this is really deadly. If you get this at the beginning of your upkeep, you can deal 7 damage to anything. That is freaking ridiculous. Like, I don't even care if you're not playing a pure burn deck. That's always going to be good. You can kill most things. And then we get a really cool looking dude here. Jared Carthalion, True Heir. 3 mana, red, green, and white human warrior. A 3/3. When he enters the battlefield, target opponent becomes the Monarch, so you can give it to someone else here. You can't become the Monarch this turn, so you have to wait. But I guess that's pretty much on theme if he's a true heir, but he's fighting to become the rightful king, I guess. If damage would be dealt to Jared while you're the Monarch, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. So we do have our commander option here in green for Monarch. We do have to give up black this time, but it might be worth it. I think it's an interesting concept, giving it to an opponent. We have Guildless Commons. It enters the battlefield tapped. And when it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to your hand. So this is basically a bounce land, but instead of like the ones from Ravnica, where they tap for 2 different colors, this taps for 2 colorless. And we get some very good reprints. We get Viscera Seer reprinted, Opal Palace, Marath Will of the Wild, and shocker, Sol Ring. Kind of surprised that they put this in a draft set considering how powerful it's going to be. But it is a commander staple. Anyway, let me know what you think about these spoilers. I think the set just keeps getting better. I just like everything I see here. A ton to think about. Content creators are going to have a lot of fun making top 10 videos and deck tech videos. I know I am. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day. Void here signing off. See you all next time.